And moving on with questions 5 and 6. ROM is a type of memory used in computers. Remember, ROM, read-only memory. Shade 2 lozenges to show which statements are true about ROM. Well, let's have a think. Desktop computers usually store application software in ROM. No. Application software is stored in RAM, random access memory, the normal memory of the computer. Desktop computers typically have more ROM than RAM. No, they only have a small amount of ROM. They have lots of RAM, so that's wrong. ROM is commonly used to store startup instructions. Yes, that's true. Remember, one of the major uses of ROM, the read-only memory in the computer, is to be a bit like the starter motor for the computer to get it started, the bootstrap program. So that one is correct. ROM is non-volatile, read-only memory. Yeah, non-volatile means that it cannot be changed. RAM is volatile. It means it can be changed inside the computer, which is why you can load programs into it. But ROM is non-volatile. Now, before we fill that in, let's just check the last one. ROM is used to increase the quality of graphics on a computer. No, that's nonsense. That's nothing to do with it. ROM is non-volatile is your second answer. Now, you'll always be asked at some point in this to explain how one piece of computer hardware works. In this case, explain how a magnetic hard disk drive operates. How does it work? Well, the various factors we're going to need to get 4 things onto the page to get 4 marks. So let's start off by describing what a hard disk drive is. So hard disk drive is made up of a platter that's divided into tracks, and they're divided into sectors. So if you imagine a hard disk is a circle, it's a flat platter, and you've got a number of tracks on it, obviously a lot more than that, and each of those tracks is divided up into sectors which will store data. So there's one thing that we can say. Then we can talk about how the data is stored. A magnetic hard disk drive, so it's stored magnetically. So data is stored by magnetizing individual parts. So individual parts of a sector. So basically we have each little dot on the hard drive contains a piece of iron ore. If it's magnetized one way, it's a 1. If it's magnetized the other way, it's a 0. We can then say that the disk spins round. So the disk spins and a read-write head moves across it. Okay, there's another mark for you. And then you can just say this can detect the magnetism, so it can work out whether there is a 1 or a 0, or change it to put new data on the disk. There you go, 4 points, 4 marks.